The final season of Stranger Things has premiered on Netflix. Was this final trip to the Upside Down worth the wait? Now, I know this was released in 3 parts over the past month or so, but the reason I chose to review this as one whole season is because in the past, when I've reviewed shows based solely on the premiere episodes, and then the show goes downhill, I end up looking like an idiot. And yeah, the season started out fairly strong, but it gradually got less interesting as it continued. The new villain of Mr. Whatsit was very creepy, being a cross between the Master from Doctor Who and Slenderman. The side plot with the kidnapped children was fairly interesting and intense, but the main conflict with the Mind Flayer overstayed its welcome and ended up feeling anticlimactic. It was satisfying to see Joyce kill the Mind Flayer, since her son's disappearance is what sets off the events of the series, and seeing her character growth was well done. The characters, for the most part, have satisfying closure, and the last scene where we see them put their D&D manuals away for the last time tugs at the heartstrings, as, in a meta sort of way, we know that the characters not only saying goodbye to each other, but the actors are as well. They've been making this show for 10 years, and they've grown up. But I have a lot of criticisms of the show as well. Mainly, the pacing. Especially in the last episode. They kill the main villain, and there's still an hour left of the last episode. It feels like a 3-episode story put as 1 episode, solely so Netflix could release it in theaters. Man, the finale goes on forever. Even J.R.R. Tolkien would call it long-winded. And of course, the season ends pretty much the same way all the other seasons do. Eleven becomes super overpowered and is able to defeat the main villain in a lazy deus ex machina. And this time the way they write it is somehow stupider by having her sacrifice herself, despite the fact that this eliminates Hopper's character growth. The writers gave all the main characters plot armor, eliminating any sense of danger, stakes, or tension. This also no longer feels like a show from the 80s. It feels like a show that was released in 2025. There's hardly anything about it that's 80s, at least not as much as the first 2 seasons. This is a show that peaked with Season 1, and gradually got less interesting as it went on. While for the most part it brings things to a satisfying conclusion for longtime fans, their journey to get there, bogged down with poor pacing and disappointingly baffling character decisions, make this a very divisive note to end the series. Also, the final line of the entire series, the closing line they choose to end on is, "Girls don't fart, and when we do, it smells like flowers." So, make of that decision what you will. For me, it gets a C, a 7 out of 10, and a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's mildly satisfying, but overall, incredibly frustrating.